All right, guys. So if you have been in practice for very long, and what I mean is, let's say 15 years or more, it's entirely possible that you've done something years ago that's actually negatively affecting your local search. And it's something you probably forgot about, or maybe even don't know that you did, or don't even realize that you did. And so we're going to talk about that on this episode of the Rocket Chiro podcast. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jerry. I'm a former chiropractor. I help chiropractors now with websites and local search. I help new chiropractors get started and stuck chiropractors get unstuck. And I host this little podcast. So I had a client that reached out to me recently. We're doing a new website for him. I'm also doing some local SEO, local search work for him. And one of the things I discovered through the process of digging through his things is that he had this error that we're going to talk about today that is actually not terribly uncommon for someone that's been out of practice for a long time. Now, this doesn't generally happen with someone who's new, but this problem is having duplicate Google business profiles. And so what may actually happen is you have a Google business profile for your practice, but then you also may have one for your name. So if we'll use like a made up scenario, like Kennedy Chiropractic would be my practice name, but then having Dr. Jerry Kennedy as a separate Google business profile. Now, here's why it's a problem. Is if you are a practice that has multiple doctors, it's actually okay. If you're a practice, a chiropractic practice, dentist practice, whatever, and you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different forward kind of facing service providers. So chiropractors, massage therapists, whatever that happens to be, it's okay to have a Google business profile for the clinic and a Google business profile for the individual doctors. But if you are someone who has a single doctor in a single office, it's not okay. And at that point, it becomes a duplicate listing, and the two listings don't help you. The two listings start to cannibalize each other. I've seen situations where doctors have had multiple Google business profiles. They forgot they had them. They didn't even know they had them, and they couldn't figure out why they were ranking so poorly. They had a lot of reviews. They're a popular practice. They have a lot of patients coming in, but they just aren't ranking well. And I've seen ranks jump significantly just by taking care of this problem. Now, my recent doc, he is really the king of the castle when it comes to this, because we found 4 so far. and this is just something that has happened where it's just one way or another. Like I said, there's a couple different reasons why it ends up happening, but this doc has 4 of them. I'm 100% sure if we do nothing else other than get this cleaned up, that's going to help his ranking. So this particular podcast, this particular video is really reaching out to people and saying, if you have been out in practice for a while and you feel like you're not ranking as well as you should, and you have a lot of these other things going for you, maybe do a search for your practice name, do a search for your old practice name if you've ever changed your name, do a search for your name. If you're like me, I go by Jerry, but my given name is Gerald. And so for me, I would search Dr. Jerry Kennedy. I would also search Dr. Gerald Kennedy just to see, are there variations of it that are out there that maybe I've missed or I forgot about. So that's what you want to do. Now, here's what you do when you find them is you don't want to have them marked as closed and then have an issue with it saying your business is closed. If you have reviews on any of those other Google business profiles, you can have them merged. So you'd have to reach out to Google and ask them to merge the profiles. You do have to claim them. You do have to own them or be a manager of those profiles. You can't just randomly suggest it or anything like that. You would actually have to claim it. That usually requires you to verify that it's you, just like you would with the listing that you use all the time. So once you've verified it, once you've claimed it, you can reach out to Google and say, hey, can I merge these two Google business profiles? If you just want to get rid of it, I would still recommend reaching out to Google and saying, hey, these are duplicates. I'm trying to get this cleaned up. Can I get these ones deleted? Be very, 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 very clear on which ones you want deleted and which one you want to stay. You obviously don't want to have any mix-ups or snafus when it comes to something like that. I'm not a huge fan of trying to do it yourself in terms of, because usually Google gives you the option of saying the business is closed or it's temporarily closed or it's moved or something like that. And you could run into problems doing it. I think it's best to just claim them and reach out to Google. If there's a reason to merge them, you have other reviews, then merge them. If there's no other reviews on the other profiles, then just reach out and say, hey, is there any way that we could just get rid of these profiles because it was a mistake? I'm trying to clean it up. That alone will help you increase your rankings if this is a particular mistake that you have done. Now, I'm going to throw in a bonus mistake that happens a lot with chiropractors who have been in practice for a long time, and that is mismatched citations. So if you don't know what a citation is, a Google Business Profile is a citation. It's where your business is listed online, name, address, phone number, website. That would be considered a citation. Your big ones are going to be Google Business Profile, Bing Places, Apple Maps, Yelp, Facebook. Those are considered your big citation sites. But there's also like medical citation sites like webmd.com, ratemds.com, healthgrades.com, your chiropractic sites, the Chamber of Commerce, yellowpages.com, all of your GPS networks, all of that is considered a citation. One of the things that even if none of your patients ever go to Bing and look for a chiropractor, or none of your patients go to yellowpages.com and look for a chiropractor, Google and AI do want to see consistency throughout the internet of your business name across the board. So they don't want to see your name in some places and then your practice name somewhere else. They don't want to see your old practice name if you've ever changed your business name. They don't want to see these different addresses or different websites or different phone numbers, and stuff changes with time. So it makes perfect sense that these things might be a little bit off if you've been in practice for 15 years or more, because a lot of us have moved. A lot of us have changed names. A lot of us have changed. Maybe you've changed your practice name, or you got a website that you didn't have before, or whatever. There's a lot of reasons for that. When Google looks around and AI looks around the internet and they see inconsistencies with these listings, the example that I always give people, the analogy I give people all the time, it would be like looking at a dating profile, or let's say looking at a car. We'll say that because a lot of us are married. We shouldn't be looking at dating profiles, right? Let's say you're going to buy a car. My wife and I are looking at new cars now, and we're kind of doing this whole process. If I saw a picture of a car that it was a real picture outside of a real dealership, and it's in, Kentucky somewhere, and I was like, oh, that looks like a nice car, I'm going to save that one. And then I looked at a couple more cars, and then I saw a car that's in Missouri, and it was the exact same picture. I'd be like, that's really suspicious. Like, that's really strange, because that picture is the same picture as that picture, but this one says it's in Missouri and this one says it's in Kentucky. That would raise red flags. That would make me be very suspicious of that listing. Now, I know that you're not trying to be suspicious to AI and Google, but when you have citations that are not all the same, and you've moved, you've changed your website, you changed your business name, whatever, and Google looks around the internet, AI looks around the internet and sees those things, it raises suspicion. And really, I've said this over and over again on the podcast, when you're trying to rank well, you're trying to build trust with Google and with AI. And anything you're doing that undermines trust is a negative for that goal. And if you can do more things to build trust, that is a positive, and that takes you in the direction you want to go. So the two things that are major mistakes that I see a lot, and practices have been around for a long time, is duplicate Google Business Profile listings. You'll also see them on Apple Maps. They're actually more common in Apple Maps probably, and they're actually harder to get rid of. I would just say this: if you have a duplicate listing in Apple Maps, because Apple Maps gets their information differently than Google does. If you have duplicate listings on Google, it's probably a mistake that you made and just sort of ignorantly made it. If it's a mistake in Apple Maps, it's entirely possible that they're pulling information from multiple sources and they just picked up different information at different times, and now you have two listings instead of them being smart enough to realize that it was the same place. If you see it in Apple Maps, my recommendation from my own experience is to reach out to them directly through the Apple Business Connect backend and reach out to them there and get it fixed. I've tried to suggest edits through Apple Maps. It never happens. Like, it is an absolute nightmare trying to get something done through the suggesting edits element of Apple Maps. You have to just go in through the back end once you've claimed the businesses and whatnot. So that's just the way to do it. But those duplicate listings are a problem. You want to get those cleaned up. And then sort of along the same lines, citations in general, you want to get those cleaned up. If you want to get a fresh start with your citations, or if you're brand new and you've never submitted your information to the aggregators, or you haven't really pushed your business information out there, might be worth doing. I would actually say not might be. It probably is worth doing. to help your business help your practice have a really broad reach in terms of citations. You want to have as many of those as possible because it helps validate your business. So even if nobody ever goes to yellowpages.com, it's good to be on there, and it's good for your information to be correct. All right, guys. If I haven't talked about myself, I'm going to just say, if you want me to look at your website and local SEO, like, I don't get paid to do podcasting. I've done I think this is probably my 550 or 60th episode doing the Rocket Chiro podcast. I don't get paid a dime to podcast. I can keep doing this because people listen to my podcast, they watch the podcast, and then they get a hold of me and ask me to help them with their website and local search. So if that's you want some help, you're sort of sick of doing it yourself. I mean, you could do your own website, but it's also stressful and it's a headache. And why would you do that when you can have somebody else do it? And they're probably going to do a better job, or at least I'm going to do a better job. So if you want somebody to do a better job with your website, maybe you're tired of the company that you've been working with and they've been treating you like a number, reach out to me. I'll be happy to look at your current stuff and give you my 2 cents, show you where you rank compared to other chiropractors. You can request a free website and SEO review, and I'll look at your stuff, send you a custom video. All that can be found at rocketchiro.com. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. See you on the next episode.